Hey folks, Species 7 here. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2013, and we are going to do a little bit of forestry today. Yes, indeed. Although, actually, being from BC's west coast, this isn't actually forestry. This is logging, okay? Foresters do a little bit different thing. But, so we're going to do some logging. Other thing I gotta tell you guys, I put out that intro video with the no-name forest map. Now we started, the very first video I did, of course, for forests was just called The Forest Map. And it's a great little map if you just want to try out the forest mod. It's awesome. It has trees already planted, it has areas where there's down trees, there's areas where there's just the trunks to collect, etc, etc. It's got a little of everything, so you just need to buy the gear and go hard. But I thought we wanted to get a little farming in and that sort of thing as well, So, toward that end, I changed maps. I went to the no-name forest map, because it also included some farming. I had some cows, had some chickens, had some fields, all of that. That was fine and dandy, so I put up the intro episode for that, and then I went and planted a bunch of trees, because, see, this looks like one of the planted trees, right? And on the forest map, these actually showed up on the map, but you can't, if you grab a chainsaw. I just happened to have one here in my handy-dandy New Holland forest tractor. Boom. Now, if we grab our chainsaw and come over here, what we're going to find is absolutely nothing. And basically, if it's not a cuttable log, you won't see any wood chips come off the saw. If it is a cuttable log, it will produce wood chips, okay? So, I planted a bunch of trees, and then I fast-forwarded time so they would grow. And while I was fast-forwarding time, I went out and harvested a couple of fields. In fact, I did a lot of work. Like I said, I spent almost 6 hours on the map. I got everything all prepped. I got all the gear moved where I needed it. I put a couple of sheds up. Straightened out where everything was that I wanted. Did all that. Harvested the fields, and then found a bit of an issue. And that is, I think the mod author might have been in just a bit of a rush to get the map out, because he knew there'd be forest maps coming one after the other. There were things like completely perfect circles in the middle of the planted fields, where obviously some sort of terrain detail, like a puddle or a mud bog or something like that, had been meant to put in, because the ground actually dipped for the circle. Like it had a depression in it, and then a dirt texture painted over the depression. But then it just had the wheat or the corn or whatever you were harvesting painted right over that, rather than finish the texturing, like put water in or put the mud in or adjust the level to go in and out, etc. So what would happen is you'd be whipping along in your harvester, harvesting some corn, merrily going away, and all of a sudden your front end of your harvester would dip down into the ground and sink most of the header into the ground and come grinding to a halt. And you couldn't even raise the header. It was like it was stuck under a wall. You would have to back up, then raise the header, then get back to the position you were in, and as it was lowering, start pulling forward, so that you could kind of, hit the ground just as you came back out of the puddle. I thought, well, maybe that's just a feature on one field. Well, it was on no less than 3 of the fields out of 4 that I harvested. So, there was also a couple of other little things. But, long story short, I decided, well, I'm going to go looking around. I found this. This is called Alpental. Okay? Alpental by Elmo. So, hey, with a name like Elmo, you can't go wrong. It is, actually seems to be a finished map. It has all the farm stuff you'd expect, right down to, the extra critters, the piggies. And it also has, although you have to buy it, although it's like $5 grand, this quite amazing little valley that's just full of a loggable area, right? I put those 2 sheds because, being a dummy, I didn't actually see that there's a huge shed for your vehicles that way up on top of the other hill. So, yeah. Now, oddly enough, and just as you saw when I grabbed the chainsaw, yeah, that button still does the same thing it has for the 2,000 hours you've put into this game. That one, however, picks up the chainsaw. So, I had thought, when I first loaded the map, that all of these guys were cuttable, but as I just showed you, they're not. And, in fact, there's not much to them at all, really. But, you can't cut them. So, I planted some trees, and I let them grow. And as you can see, you can tell ours, because, well, the weird thing is most of them have done this. They've kind of broken at some point, but we do know the ones with the marks are the ones we can use. And you can see, there we go. And you gonna fall over? The last ones didn't. They actually did the same thing that guy did and got hung up. So, see if I can cut through there. And no. Alright. Man, this is some dangerous logging we're up to here, I'll tell you. Boy, oh boy. Workman's comp ever caught you in the bush trying to pull this off, well, they would not be happy with you. Alrighty. Ooh, okay. There we are, and she's found. And no, that is not the recommended way to take a tree down. But you gotta do that. If a tree gets hung up, I guess you gotta figure out how the heck to get her down. So, let's grab the little trunk part. Now, near as I can figure from reading the description, and granted, it is a translation. You can there's a little help window that'll pop up every once. Oops, sorry. That will pop up every once in a while, and it basically explains forestry to you, or the forest mod to you, I should say, which is cool. But there's 2 ways to get rid of logs. You can take them to the sawmill, where you will get better money for them, or you can take them to the chipper. But it's something about the nice long smooth logs should go to the sawmill, and you'll get more money for it. There we go. The kind of, and then they said the short twisted logs you should chip. Well, every single thing you cut down is so straight you'd figure it was set with a level. So I'm not sure about the twisted, so I'm thinking maybe what you're supposed to do is chipper up the little trunk pieces, right? Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Now this one I've already cut up, so the second you do, after you once again click E instead of O, like, because they're right next to each other on the keyboard. Yeah. No, I'm not using some kind of weird keyboard. Next thing we want to do is get these branches off. So, there we go. If you get the right angle, you can get them off there pretty easy. And while we've been doing that, our invisible helper has been coming along and marking our lengths for us. It's awful nice of them. And boom. There's one. By the way, you can get about 2 logs cut up before your chainsaw is going to run out of gas. Boom. Or 2 complete trees, sorry. Not 2 logs, 2 trees. Alright, that one's all cut up. There are a number of ways that you can deal with moving things once you've actually cut them up. Now, I just showed you that you can use that guy to actually pick them right up. The piece of gear on the front of this, now understand, I'm using this Manitou because for some reason they decided this log grab. And I'll be honest with you, this is one of the least complicated, easiest to use ways to pick up logs in the forestry mod. Be warned, it only connects to vitamins. Alright, that Manitou happens to, rather than have a telehandler connector on it, actually does have the vitamin connector. So I'm using that because it's silly quick. And maneuverable. I mean, the vitamins are pretty, I don't know. I think it's probably one of the reasons that all of us, when we first got Farming Simulator, did all the mowing missions instead of the forklift missions, right? Yeah, because we all tried the forklift missions and went, oh my god, this is horrible driving this thing. Little tiny vehicles that are articulated like that, oh man, they can be nasty. So, I happen to find that Manitou that has a vitamin hookup on it, so we get to use a decent piece of gear to do the same job. So, another thing you can do is load onto trailers. Actually, be smart about this, and let's just get him up out of the way a little bit, shall we? There we go. And I'm going to use this guy first, so we can have a little look at how he does. Let's open her up. Okay. One thing about it, this is, she's a little quick. I think they could have toned down the speed on it just a touch. Just a touch. Oops. Other thing I've noticed too, all of the forestry gear seems to be just a little touchy. Like so far as speed and things like that. And I have a feeling it has something to do with the fact that you can... Now, why will you not pick this up? Come on, quit being so stubborn. I suppose I should be smart about this, huh? Now we got a log. I'm sorry I made that look so difficult, guys. Okay. I don't want to run into... Okay, that looks pretty good, eh? Alright, not bad, that's one. So to say, this tool is probably the easiest. There is a huge number of different grapple crane type tools that you can use, like the one I had on the front of the last tractor I just brought up. They are, well, if you played any of the sort of construction simulator games, you're probably actually quite used to the how they worked out the control scheme. They almost made that look like it was doable, eh? But they are, of course, nowhere near as simple as this. This is one of the more efficient, and I would recommend if you want to do things quickly, you probably go with one of these. They're also not terribly expensive, and that always helps. Okay. But I'll tell you what we will do, just for the heck of it. I'll take Mr. Whiteman up out of the way for a moment, and demonstrate another device. Okay. If you wanna just grab stuff. Okay, this tractor. There we go. Sometimes a little weird to start. Well, this device here is for pulling logs. So. Now let's lower it down. We'll go back to the rear device. There we go. Let's lower that down. Get a little more back up, a little more back. I like to butter right up to that plate if I can. Grab her. Lift her back up. There we go. And we should be able to a little precarious looking here, but what is it, right? And let's just see if we can actually poke this one over here. Yeah, this isn't working too well. Come on. There we are. Yeah, alright. Definitely not exactly what they're designed this thing to be doing. Loading of any sort. That's for sure. Doesn't help if this darn tractor rolls. Yeah, okay. That's just going to go from bad to worse here if we're not careful, so let's just pull it out of there. But yeah, this device will allow you to drag logs to a different area. Like if you wanted to drag them all down here and start sorting them onto your trailer or something, then you could certainly use this one for that. It also will move side to side to ease somewhat in your grabbing of the log. So, and then of course we can just simply drop the log down when we got where we want it. This tractor always rolls backwards before it goes forwards. Alright, so there's that method. There is also a way. Here's one of the grapples. I suppose this would be the simplest grapple on the front of this guy. And it mounts to any front end loader. Pretty straightforward. And both buttons together will actually allow you to rotate the head. So, whoop-de-dip-de-doo. It doesn't have any sort of an extension. So you're basically this sort of an idea, right? And I guess we'd want to do that maybe? Sure, why not? The other thing is that a lot of these different tools are going to offer or change, would perhaps be more accurate, oops, your camera angles. Like when you click C, a lot of them are not just going to go from in cab to out of cab. Okay. I'll try it with this guy. Alright, we have that view and then the normal view. So, this crane, you don't have to worry about. There we go. And we can lift it up. And I guess you pretty much have to drag this guy backwards. Can I lift it right off the ground? Ooh, not liking it. Not liking it. Well, it seems to be okay once it realizes it's clear. So there you go, that's one type of log lift. And again, you can use this to... Probably don't want to be going that quick. It does seem that when it gets too close to the actual ground, it wants to reconnect itself. So, this, keep in mind, the forestry mod is indeed still a beta effort, okay? I'm pretty sure that by the time... It's better. Nice, that's a good way to carry it. I'm sure that by the time an iteration or two has gone by, that this will prove to be quite the thing. Boom. There we go. So there's that type of crane. Not bad. Not bad. Certainly not as quick, but it also works, and it's fairly simple. This guy's just a speed demon. I don't like it. So there we go. We've seen we can fall trees, we can use several different bits of gear. Well, what I will do next episode, because I also want to show you guys the farm. I mean, while we're here, this is a brand new map. So, we've had a look at knocking trees over. Maybe not in the safest method. I'm sure WCB would be going right. Fire that man. But we got to look at how that was done. A couple of the different loading methods. So next episode I'll show you the other bits of forestry gear. The chipper. We'll finish loading a trailer using one of the other cranes, etc. And then maybe we'll sell a little bit of it to see how that goes. For the moment though, if we want to also keep in mind the fact this is a farm. So, and it is a farm that's pretty nice setup actually. That's our tree planter, by the way. This is the piece of gear that plants the trees. So, you know, we got our cow stuff, and like I said, you can hear we got chickens. Boy, do we got chickens. We got our lambs, we got pigs. It's a nice complete farm. It's well laid out. You actually have room to move your gear around, which is certainly a pleasant change. There's a fair bit of storage sheds. In fact, there's more than I thought there was. I ended up putting a lot of my stuff across the road, and then realized that, oh wow, look at all the storage we got down here. So yeah, pretty nice. I thought originally when I first looked at the map that this was silos. Oh, I did not know that it also has the calc mod. Very nice. I will have to remember to load a calc trailer. I think I've only got MRs. We have separate bin type silos for all of that stuff. I put this guy in. So, probably should have turned him around the other way, eh? Considering that that's the... It also has normal silos and a normal tip point, so that's kind of cool. Here's our house. Our chickens seem to be pretty much just run all over the place and be idiot chickens. I haven't yet figured out where the egg pickup is, but I will. Not a problem. This is the tipping point. It's kind of weird. When I've dumped a load of wheat in here already. There we go. Yeah, it showed up. But it kind of piled on top of this when I dumped it, and I thought, oh no, maybe the tipping thing doesn't actually work. Because, yeah, there was quite a distinct pile of wheat on top of where I dumped. I mean, not enough to count for the entire trailer. But then, slowly but surely, it kind of went down. Which is kind of weird. I've never seen one do that before. So as I say, you got a fair bit of sheds here. You know, all kinds of stuff going on. Even some that are all but unexplainable. Piggies! Hello, piggies! We can actually... Whoa! What have I done? Help! Help! I'm stuck in some... Whoa! There's a hole down there, man. Wow, there's a deep hole. I fell in it. Alright, here's our piggy barns. Oops. Schweinerl. Yeah, nothing's in English, by the way, so... all you guys that like speaking English... Well, I can't climb the ladder? Oh, that's it. Gotta find a different map. That's just... unacceptable. I can't get out the door, I'm too fat. You do require a map door trigger. And it looks like one of our doors is having a hard time. So yeah, you require the map door trigger, for sure. And all our normal feed and stuff for the piggy digs. This is all familiar. And it leads across there. Nice touch that they bothered to actually put the mechanism in so you could believe it did go from one to the other. Manure, silage, all of those things are included. As I say, it's actually quite a nice map as far as being a farm. As well as forestry, right? Which is what I was looking for. And as we continue on, all of this nice area, all up through here, it's a fairly big, you know, all in all, a fairly big farm. I'm definitely going to turn that meat station around. It looks like an idiot put it there. Well, okay, he did, but, you know. And across the road, we has our sheep. This is where I get our load of wheat. I've been slowly but surely harvesting this wheat field. A couple more sheds over here that belong to us. And I haven't quite finished dealing with all the gear. I just hauled this guy down from the store. So here's our sheep. You've got the auto wool pallet. There they are, all our fine young bang. Of course, I haven't fed them or watered them or anything like that yet. So there you go. You got sheeps. It is a... well, let's have a look at our mappable overview. So you can see it's a pretty big map. Here's our forest area up here, right? And then you own, I believe, yeah, 2 planted fields. There we go. 1 and 2. Keep in mind, though, 2, for whatever reason, they decided to put potatoes in there. Yeah, potato harvesting at the beginning of the game is a pretty pricey proposition. Nice thing is, withering is turned off. So you can leave those potatoes there till you can darn well afford a harvester. Now we can afford a harvester because obviously I've still been in the sort of picking up the gear thing and all that, and I still got 406 grand sitting in our account. But beyond that, yeah. I haven't even moved the wool trailer out of the middle of the wheat field. I figure I'll just keep, you know, harvesting wheat all around it, and when I finally get to where it's, oh, God, I gotta move this thing, that will inspire me to unload the other trailer, bring the gauze down here, hook it up to this guy, and unload it. As you can see, there's my oh, I did not know you could do that. There's my harvester. I'm actually using a 570, I believe. It says 550, but I don't think it actually is. Yeah, class V750. And when you drive it, it does seem to be a lot bigger than the other 550 or even the 560 that we were using. So, there you go. This is Alpental. Like I said, next episode we'll do a little more forestry, we'll do a little bit of farming, we'll get into the map. So, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I am not going to change maps again. I think it was a matter of, you know, we could have been fine stayed on the forest map, but like I said in the last episode, I don't know how long we could have done that. I'm thinking we could have done a couple episodes and, well, let's cut down some more trees, let's load them on the trailer, let's sell them at the store, let's cut, you know what I mean? So I wanted the variety of being able to do the farming as well, and this is Farming Simulator. We could have stayed on the second map there, the no-name forest, but I'd like to have another look at that when it's actually done. So, I think we're going to stay on this one. I'm truly going to help it, unless there's some incredibly major glitch that I run into, i.e. gear starts disappearing or some weirdness like that, then we'll be right here. So, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you would, that'd be great. Always nice if I could grow the channel a little. And, this has been Species 7 for Farming Simulator / Forest Simulator 2013. Till next time, take care of each other, folks. Nobody else will. Beautiful scenery. Ciao for now.